right. Well, we have a good group tonight. So we'll start with Bob, then we'll go to Neil, Anders, Joel, Carol, and then me. So, Bob, if you're ready, N6PGQ, please go ahead and transmit a picture.
Okay, this is Bob, N6PGQ. This is PD120.
N6PGQ, do you copy?
I do. Did I do something wrong?
I'm not sure what happened, if it was just me. I didn't get a picture through, and the signal kept coming on and off. I don't know if others had a similar experience. I didn't receive anything.
Same here, and R6H.
Well, Bob, why don't we, does anybody have a suggestion on what could have happened? Should Bob try again, or should we move on?
He was transmitting. I heard him very faintly on reverse, so I'm wondering if the PL is configured properly on his radio.
N6PGQ, do you want to do a test tone?
Sure, we can try that, and then, I don't know, I'll kick the radio or something. N6PGQ, did you get tone?
No, Bob, no tone at all.
Oh, that's strange. I didn't think I did anything different to the radio. Let me look at things. Okay, let me see what I'm doing wrong.
Well, the great thing about this is this is what it's all about, is practice, diagnosis, things like this. Bob, would you mind if Neil went ahead while you take a look at your settings?
No, that'd be perfect. N6PGQ.
This is Kel 7H2. I don't have a picture yet, so go ahead, go around me as well.
Okay, and our 6H, Anders, are you ready?
I am ready, and I'll give it a shot right now. This will be PG 120.
Okay, well, I got a very clear of your yard, Anders. I'm sorry to say that somebody's been spray painting graffiti on your fence, but I guess that's to be expected. Joel, AI6DG, go ahead.
Good reception, relatively few pops. The contrast is a little low on the original image. Trees. Getting fancy with the labeling, so it's got this little angled to make it look like it's fitted on the wall. We got like a buddy pole type of antenna on a mast in the background. And I don't know what type of tripod system it is, but obviously it can go a lot higher up. And in the foreground on a corner of the table, we have a radio with a nice display. I don't think this is an ICOM 705. It might be, but I'm very interested in just what radio this is and how the backyard testing worked with this. I guess he's getting ready for field day. Amplifier. What's the output on that? And do you have an amplifier? And do you like me to bring one? Back to net, AI6DG.
AI6DG, this is KN6QNJ. KP4MD, Carol, go ahead. Sure. Bob, N6PGQ, any comments?
Well, I'm twisting knobs, trying to figure out what the heck's wrong. I don't know, maybe the computer's set wrong or something like that from when I was trying to do WinLink. Anyway, can see the radio in the foreground, and N6NA 220615, slow scan TV, November Romeo 6 Hotel, backyard. Kind of looks like a buddy pole, as everybody mentioned. It's on a push-up mast that has blue clamps on it that seems to be retracted as far as it'll go, and very few pixel pops. and good quality. And so I'm receiving and transmitting audio here, but I don't know what the heck I'm doing wrong with the image. We'll have to play with it a little bit.
Well, Bob, I try to get WinLink to work, and I am concerned that once I get it work, I'll mess up my SSTV settings. So I hope you're able to work it out tonight. Neil, KL7HQR, comments about Anders' photos.
Roger, KL7HQR. Very good copy here. Better than what I see on Carol's on YouTube. Very clear. And not much to add to the description, except that very, very good details on the trees and on the ground, and everything else in perfectly ordered. So right now I do not have access to a picture, so I probably will not going to be sending a picture tonight to be on the receiving end. So my apologies for that. But good copy on this one. Back to that.
KL7HQR, thank you. I also have a much better picture on the computer than what came through online for some reason. And I think I saw that radio at that amateur extra class, but I think Anders NR6H, it's your turn to tell us what we're looking at.
You left out Carol also there, so maybe Carol wants to go with her comments.
KB4MD, are you ready? Okay, copy. Go ahead, Anders.
All right, well, you got it. It's backyard. It's a little play before field day. It's actually side yard, so this is on the side of the house. And I worked really hard on spray painting the wall there just for today. 220615 is obviously today's date, so that's what I did there. The antenna is one of those telescopic buddy pole type systems. So it's a little mount in the middle with two screw-in telescopic, kind of the classical old rabbit ear antenna type, just much bigger. They actually go out to, I can even do 20 meters with those if you extend them all the way. And then sitting on my painter's pole, so that's a 24-foot painter's pole there that is obviously pulled down right now, otherwise it didn't fit in the picture, in the frame, and that sits upon a tripod that is really a speaker stand tripod. So this is stuff I found in the garage to make this work, and I actually used this rig just a few minutes ago here on the 10-meter net. So the radio in the front there is a Zygu X6100, and it can output 10 watts. I'm going to bring it to field day, Joel, so if you have a spare amp, that would be awesome, because that would make that radio a pretty potent little kit. So that's what this is, just the prep for field day, and I used it just a few minutes ago, and it seemed to work, so fun. NR6H, thanks for running the net. Back to you, James.
NR6H, thanks, Anders. Alf is online. We want to say hello and good evening to KN6PRD. He had a comment that he thought the call sign and club info was actually sprayed on the wall.
Yeah, I'll use my 15-year-old son to scrub it off here tomorrow, but no, not really. It's all digital. But thanks for that. NR6H, back to net.
Okay, thanks. Joel, are you ready? AI6DG.
PD 120.
AI6DG, I have a picture of a very busy desk, and I'm trying to guess what you're trying to show. Be interesting to find out. Bob, N6PGQ, are you ready to comment?
Well, the busy desk makes a lot of sense to me. We have a keyboard in the right, a mouse above it, some kind of object being held down on the left corner so that it doesn't fall down. It almost looks like a light source of some kind that's growing a little small plant in a pink container. To the left are a set of headphones and a bunch of other radio stuff, and looks like a monitor in the top with 3 images on it, and a whole bunch of either 45 RPM records or I don't know, CD-ROM discs on the left side. Hopefully I can get this sucker working and see what the heck's wrong before I can send a picture.
We'll come back to you next, Bob, to see if you can get a tone. Neil, KL7HQR.
Roger, good copy, very good copy here. I don't know what Bob says, the CD-ROMs and etc. I see the floating device with apparently a light and a pink container underneath, right by the keyboard on the right-hand side. But on the left side, it looks like on a slant, some things are being held in there to help hold the light thing onto the light device and the monitor. And I see the headset on the bottom, some wires on the left side, and some papers with some diagrams or something on the left side. In other words, a very good copy of the pictures. I'm trying to make heads or tails of it. Back to that.
KL7HQR, thanks. Anders, NR6H.
A stack of hard drives holding down a side of a computer case with the blue light coming out of it. That pink container is interesting. There must be some kind of alien plant in it that's trying to grow under the blue light. I see a little power supply in the back. There's a little power adapter on the right side. Didn't see any CDs though. The roll of electrical tape up in the corner also. But I think the interesting thing here is what's in that pink container, and why does it need blue light to grow? Or maybe it's the blue light is to make it not grow. Maybe it's some kind of weed that shouldn't grow. I don't know. We'll hear from Joel soon. NR6H, back to net.
Thanks, Anders, NR6H. Now you have me thinking of Alien or one of those outer space stories where they brought on board some organic thing that's about to grow and take over the ship. Alf, KN6PRD, you haven't made any comments about this, so I'm keeping an eye on YouTube just in case you do. And good evening to Andrew Murphy. Feel free to make comments as well. Carol, are you ready to make comments on this, KP4MD?
Sure, this is KP... sorry. This is KP4MD. Finally got my audio set up here for talking. Well, you saw exactly what I received. There were 3 areas near the top of the picture where the signal just faded out, and that's my problem. The signal strength went down to 0. I've got some kind of multipath fading here on my end, so otherwise a nice clear picture with some really brilliant colors. And nothing, I really can't figure out what this is. This is not a usual picture that Joel sends. He usually sends a picture with like 6 flat panel screens, all with SDR windows on them. This is very different. It's much simpler. I don't know what else to say. Back to you. It's KP from D.
Carol, KP KP4MD. Let's see, did we all comment on this? Why don't we let Joel tell us what we're looking at?
You know, I've been doing this for so long, and most of the time with all of you guys, so it's kind of hard to surprise you and get something that you actually have to think and look at, and so this is it's a challenge to find something different and something that puzzles you, and I guess I did a successful job. And this is just me turning around 180 degrees and looking at the desk surface behind where I usually sit at work. And I neatened it up a little bit and staged it a bit, but I figured there'd be lots of little nooks and crannies and things to look at and describe here. And let's start at the bottom half. Start at the left. There's a little clipboard with some papers attached to it, and on top of that clipboard I've got a couple of headphones that I no longer use. These are personal ones of mine I brought from home, and they've supplied admittedly very cheap but very capable headphone that I use instead. So the headphone on the left is actually a USB headphone for a telecom, for like a phone. What is it called? Where it's got a whole bunch of people entering phones. A phone bank. But it's USB, and you can kind of see the connector, one end of the connector there. To the right of that is a standard low-end pair of headphones with a 3.5 millimeter jack, and that you can also see the sitting there out. Dead center and on the bottom is actually a lens cap, a Canon lens cap that I found, of all things, a couple of weekends ago down in San Francisco as I was playing tourist. I walked up to a nice photo picture site, took some pictures, looked down, and someone had dropped this lens cap as they were changing lenses, taking the same pictures I was taking. And then, yes, at the keyboard on the right, actually not one I use, but this space is used for when I'm working on computers or equipment, and it's sitting there for in case I do need a keyboard. Let me let it drop. Going up from the keyboard, yes, that's a power supply for I think it was for a network switch, but it's bad. It doesn't put out the 12 volts it's supposed to. It only puts out 7 volts, so it's got X's on it to let me know that. So I should actually just throw that away. Behind that and sitting underneath the mouse is another working network switch with a bunch of red Ethernet cables plugged into it. I wouldn't expect you to realize that. There's the two ends of a SATA cable switching, pointing out kind of into the brightly blue lit area. Working to the left, yes, it's a blue plant container. Usually when I go to computer convention types of things and you walk around getting goodies and swag, it's techie types of things. Like USB that, or pins, or this one, a type of thing, if you've been to those types of conventions, you kind of know what I'm talking about. This was different. This was a little plastic container with a little envelope with some seeds on it and a tightly compressed pellet of peat moss, I think. And you put the peat moss in at the bottom. You take the cap. You open the container, put the lid as the bottom, and it's the water trap. You pull out the seed packet. You water the peat pellet, and it just expands incredible. And you plant the seeds, and you grow some flowers. And it's under a light. It's actually an aquarium light, which I figure is going to be much more sunlight-like than the standard LED desk lamp I had. And that's why it's blue, because it's a really high Kelvin light for reef aquarium, salt water. And the power supply to that is behind the red plastic container, and above it is the aquarium light, and it's kind of squarish, and it gets hot, so it's got a lot of heat sink fins on the top of it, and it's sitting off the edge of an old CRT monitor desk stand with a bunch of hard drives on top of it to keep it from falling down. In front of the stack of hard drives is the old VGA to DVI adapter. To the left of that, there's some old desktop memory sticks, a couple of RJ45 extenders. Good eye, Anders. You saw the to the left of that. I think I just dropped, so I don't know how much audio I dropped. I'll keep talking. Got to keep pushing hard on the push-to-talk lever at my feet. And then behind that, it's not a monitor with 3 pictures. It's a poster on the wall behind the surface of the desk surface. Back to net. I think I took way too much time, but describe the stuff. Question? Back to net. AI60G.
Thanks, Joel. AI60G. No, it wasn't the foot pedal. I think the repeater timed out. Any questions for Joel? Hearing none. N6PGQ. Bob, do you want to do a tone test?
Okay, we'll try a tone test, see what happens. Any luck?
Sorry, no. Dead silent.
Okay, well then you're going to have to skip me because I can't figure out what the heck I'm doing wrong. I'll have to ask Carol, since she helped me get WinLink going, if I screwed something up for this N6PGQ.
Fair enough. Neil, just double checking. You have nothing to transmit tonight.
That is correct. Just on the receiving loop. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Well, Carol, Bob is going to need your help, and it's your turn to transmit a photo if you're ready.
Yeah, I think the problem with Bob is when he goes over to transmit his video file, he loses the PL for some reason. I don't know if that makes any sense, Bob. Over.
Okay, well it says encode and positive offset, so obviously I'm using the PL here. Let me try tone and watch the display on the radio. Set and encode. Anyway, I'll have to delve into some problem solving here. N6PGQ, back to net.
N6PGQ. Okay, this is KN6QNJ. KP4MD, are you ready to transmit?
Yeah, Roger. This would be PD120.
KP4MD, I got a good copy of a very interesting photo with two photos split in the middle, left to right, and an interesting juxtaposition. Bob, N6PGQ, are you ready to comment?
Well, I don't have a guess. I would have first commented that it might be a scorpion antenna, since that's kind of what the creature on the right looks like to me. But I think scorpion makes screwdriver antennas, so I don't know what the relationship of the two is. We've got, which looks like a very directional antenna on a rotor, it looks like, unless that's power supply or some kind of a transverter on the backside. And, quite a few pixel pops, but very copyable, and that's about all I can get.
Copy, thanks, Bob. Neil, KL7HQR.
Right here, no pixel pops here at all. Again, two level, left and right. On the left-hand side, looks like somebody has an FM antenna trying to get some good FM radios. On the right-hand side, it looks like somebody's trying to get a DXCC certificate from War World and underwater communications with a very, very high efficient directional antenna. Anyway, left side, good picture against the sky of a directional antenna that I would assume to be FM. On the right-hand side, a skeleton of some kind of maritime device, marine animal. So, but good copy all the way back tonight.
KL7HQR, KN6QNJ, NR6H, Anders.
Good copy. Quite a bit of pixel pops spread evenly over both images, or the whole image. One is looking up in the sky, and one is looking down on the ground or underwater. I think the hypothesis here is that Carol is suggesting is that the trilobits were communicating using UHF, or trilobytes maybe. That's more digital, I guess. I don't know, something like that. But good picture. Interesting to hear the theory behind it. NR6H, back to net.
NR6H, thanks. AI6DG.
I think it's a joke on the shape because they look so similar. I mean, yeah, and I was thinking that was an HD antenna on the left, but it probably is FM only. It doesn't look quite like it's got a wide enough frequency range for HD. But whatever it is, it's probably got a really good amplifier in that box. So yeah, someone's really serious on their FM radio. And the trilobite on the right, trilobite, trilobit, triloword, I don't know, whatever it is, it's an old fossil, and it's got some really cool looking horns coming out the front of it, pointing backwards, and then two very similarly curved horns sticking out the rearmost portion of it, very much in tune with the antenna on the left. Wonder how many millions of years old that thing is. Not the one on the left. That's pretty new. Back to net, AI6DG.
AI6DG. Yeah, I think the bony fossil might be one of those deep sea fossil from a deep sea, really deep sea fish. But I'm interested in hearing what Carol has to say. KP4MD.
Okay, yeah, this is KP4MD. Your Anders hit it right. Joel also, it's a trilobite on the right. It's a fossil of a prehistoric animal that lived on the bottom of the ocean. And the antenna on the left is a HDTV amplified antenna with a built-in rotor and an amplifier. and those things go for about $30 or $40. And I believe they do cover. I don't think they cover low VHF, but they do cover UHF, and the long elements there are for, I believe, the high VHF band, channels 7 to 13, which of course everything has been juggled around, so the numbers on your channels don't really correspond to the frequencies anymore on your TV set. But these are notoriously bad. The rotors fail on them very quickly because the gears in there are plastic. My sister in New York has one of these up on the roof of her house, and after a few years it just wouldn't rotate anymore. So not really good at all. But you can look them up on Amazon. He's still selling these. Apparently some people are buying them. And if you go on YouTube, there's a channel that's called Antenna Man. It's a guy that talks about putting antennas up for TV if you want to cut the cable. And he says this antenna is a really bad one. You should even bother with it. But it looks cute. I mean, it supposedly has a built-in rotor and amplifier. Back to Nets, KP4MD.
KP4MD, thank you. Well, that's very interesting. I bet it beats rabbit ears, but does sound like it's got trouble. Bob, do you want to try for tone one more time? N6PGQ?
I don't think I've changed anything. We'll give it one more shot and see if it happens. Anything? Let me turn the transmit gain up on the signal and you can see what happens.
Okay, go ahead.
Thing?
So dead quiet.
The signal is getting out on the input. I'm hearing it on 446-300. Maybe I don't know. Maybe the volume of your tone is so high that it's washing out the PL. Maybe that's what's going on, because it's not coming through a repeater, but you are there on the input.
Okay, I turned the mic volume down. I don't know if that has anything to do with the tone. Let me give it one more shot.
Do you want to try it again?
Yeah, I heard it. It's
Okay, let me turn it down just a little bit. Try tone again.
Yeah, we're hearing it.
Must have gotten bumped. Let me try it one more time.
Yeah, I'm hearing it. Carol, you're hearing it?
yeah, it's coming through the repeater just fine right now.
Okay, let's give it a shot. This is PD120. Okay, well, Neil says that I'm having trouble, so sorry about wasting everybody's time. N6PGQ.
I think this is, again, exactly why we're doing this. Yeah, I mean, an image partially came through, but the signal was intermittent. I see what I can see is our cars in a parking lot. I don't know if anybody else can see that. Do you want to just give us a reference, or you want to try again next week?
Well, I'll try again next week. Maybe I can get on sometime in the next few days with Neil and start pushing buttons and dropping the radio off the desk. It might help it.
KP4MD.
And then you can go to HRO and get a new one.
Yeah. I don't know of any all-mode radios that do 2 meters and 440 that are affordable. Oh well. That never stopped me before.
KP4MD.
Go ahead, KP4MD.
Yes, I am. It was up about 2/3 scale, and I put it down to 1/3. Maybe I'll try it again if you guys are all patient.
Yeah, go ahead. N6PGQ, well, what do you know? It worked. I will say I have some angled, faint lines through the reception, but that looks like the Seaside Civic and Convention Center. Carol, we'll go in reverse order. KP4MD, why don't you comment on the solution and the picture?
Yeah, this is KP4MD. Very good. I'm glad it finally worked. And yep, that's what it was. You were overmodulating. We did a little tweaking on that computer to get the WinLink working correctly. And all of these settings are they interact with each other. So it'll work okay on WinLink, but it made it the MMS STV audio too hot, and turning that slider down like you did fixed the problem. So yep, you could see it on the internet, the YouTube Seaside Civic and Convention Center, Welcome Ham Convention, Sand, Surf, and Radios, June 3rd to 5th, www.cpac.org. And then it's got a picture of a tidal wave to the right of that, 2022 CPAC ARRL something or other after that. I think it's ARRL. Anyway, there you go. So, oh, something anniversary. I think it's 40th anniversary. That's what it is. So, and some cars in the parking lot. Thank you. Back to Nest, KP from D.
KL7HQR, comments? NR6H, Anders.
I think Carol figured out the site and the time there, June 3 to 5, so all that is covered. We're looking at the parking lot, and what stands out is a dog looking out the back window of that red car right there. Somebody forgot the dog, and maybe dogs are not allowed on the ham convention. NR6H, back to Net.
That is such a good catch. Good eyes. Joel, AI6DG.
Seaside Civic and Convention Center. Welcome Ham Convention. Sand, surf, and radios. Yeah, I first thought it was rodeos. Nope, radios. June 3-5, www.cpac. CPAC.org. And then I'm assuming the CPAC convention logo on the right. Looks like it was a bit of a dreary day, but that sounds like typical for up there. Overcast. Sad dog wondering when his master returns. So where's the convention center? Is it one of the buildings in the background, or are those just commercial buildings in the area? Looks like we got maybe a restaurant with a kind of a tower on the right side of the sign, and maybe a warehouse or auto repair on the left, and a big maybe hotel in the background. Back to Net, AI6DG.
Thanks, Joel. Neil, KL7HQR, are you still with us? All right, well, Bob, N6PGQ, congratulations on you and Carol troubleshooting this. Well done. Any questions? Any other questions for Bob?
I'm going to make a comment. The right side of the sign is this year's winning pin design, and the only thing that you guys missed was the little seagull right in the middle of the top wave, and it's always in one of the CPAC pin designs. That seems to be their logo, and you guys did a good job, even caught the dog. The convention center is behind us to the left, and this is walking down, or actually you would be driving, but this was walking down the main drag next to the convention center past it, and they're advertising the things that are happening. CPAC is well liked by the city of Seaside. It's one of the largest conventions that they have in N6PGQ.
Thanks, Bob. That's really good. Maybe next year I'll try to get there. I have a photo to share if we have a couple of minutes. Is that okay?
No objection here.
All right, I'll send this now, PD 120. I was just about to check. All right, let me try tone. Hold on. Any tone?
No tone.
All right. Well, it's late. I'll have to troubleshoot this another time. Any other comments or questions before we close the net?
N6PGQ.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm just going to mention that in 309 days, the International DX Convention is going to be held in Visalia, finally, after COVID. And if any of you guys are interested in going, the hotel reservations are now open. They've been open for 2 days. And usually the Marriott Hotel, which is the host hotel, completely books up very, very quickly. So if you're thinking of going to Visalia and don't want to drive from off-site hotels, now's the time to make your hotel reservations. N6PGQ.
Bob, is there a website or someplace we can look to get information about that convention?
Yeah, it's called dxconvention.com.
Copy. Anybody have any questions for Bob about that?
They have talks. What are the events other than the vendors? I've been interested in going to that for a couple of years. Glad to hear it's coming back, but I guess I just go to the website. But if you could do a quick review of the convention, thanks. Back to Net AI6TG.
Sure thing. There's usually a early dinner before the day before the banquet. One's the top band dinner, and one's the contesting dinner, and one of them's Islands on the Air dinner. And you can choose those, and they have a good presentation of what's going on. The convention is completely different and a different tone than going to Pacificon. None of the vendors have any handy talkies. You won't see Comet or Diamond antenna there. It's all based on DX and HF. Let me drop this. Once in a while they do a thing called DX University. Talks for a whole day on how to do DXing, gives hints and talks on it, but I don't know if it's going to happen this year. All the talks are usually very, very, very good, and it's something you should do at least once. It's not Pacificon. It's pretty geared to fairly serious hams. N6PGQ.
Thanks, Bob. Any other questions or comments for Bob? I'm going to try tone one more time. I closed SSTV and opened it again. Let me see if you hear tone. Anything?
Not a thing.
All right, I'll have to work on that. With that, since it's a little after 10, I want to thank everyone who participated in tonight's SSTV Net. We hope to see you again next Wednesday at 9 p.m. The net is officially closed at 10:02 p.m. This is James, Kilo November 6, Quebec, November Juliet. wishing all of you a good evening.